Alright, starting off the solo flawless runs for the night. Last night I got very, very close and failed on the last damage run as I was collecting light motes. Just kind of rushed and made a couple mistakes in a row, so hoping to avoid doing that again. Feel good about this being the run, if not the night at the very least. We'd have to take a little break at some point to eat and get some water and stuff, especially as I wait for my supers to recharge. Now I'm ready for the first part. I use my sword to climb all the way up here and get as high as I possibly can just using sword swings. And then when I get kind of max, I'm going to pop my super. And then I use my acre stash to kind of just fly across. Alright, now that I landed, I'm going to switch up my super, and I want to use Well, specifically for the Benevolent Dawn. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted for it. This, Well of Radiance. Although Benevolent Dawn is really good. Divine Protection, convert my grenade, so I'll hold down Q and it can turn my grenade into healing instead of damage, which is really important. For this encounter, I'm using the Secession Sniper Rifle. That's really good for being able to just quickly snap and take out the knights. Even if I don't get a headshot, because it's a high impact frame, or the aggressive frame, sorry, hitting it will usually stagger them so then I can line up the headshot in the next one. Risk Runner is amazing in this encounter because there's so many enemies that are using arc damage. Every time I get hit with arc damage, my gun will basically go crazy. The shots will have chain lightning and I'll get infinite ammo, and then I've got a catalyst for it, which I don't know if it'll show this. I guess it shows it right there at the bottom right, the range stat, where the bar is yellow. That's all from the catalyst, which gives it a boost. So it's really, really insane range on an SMG. And then the last thing, for the boss, I'm using a sword. And Relentless Strikes, as I'm just doing my light attacks, it'll give me more sword ammo back. Every 3 light attacks in a row gives me 1 sword strike back. And then Whirlwind Blade, as I'm doing more attacks up to 5, it'll give me a damage boost. So I want to do a bunch of rapid attacks, get it up to 5, and then do my heavy attack, which is like a spinning AoE. On my armor, I'm doing, I'm actually going to switch this up, because I think I can bump this to a recovery. Which puts me at 100 recovery, which is really good. That's where I want to be. That'll help my health recharge faster, and also get my rift back faster. So I've got Protective Light is the most important mod on my helmet. So when I'm charged with light, I gain a significant damage resistance against combatants when my shield is destroyed, so whenever it's blinking red. And the more stacks that I have, the longer the damage resistance lasts. Taking charge, every time I pick up an orb of light, which are going to be the little blue glowing blue-white orbs on the ground, that I get from killing multiple enemies in a row. That's going to give me a charge of light, up to 2. I've got 2 stacks of Concussive Dampener, and then I've got another While Charged with Light mod. Sometimes this is active when I go for the boss, sometimes it's not. I'm going to try and make sure it is active. If I can get 2 charges of light without getting my shields broken and attack the boss with this damage bonus for 5 seconds, I can almost always kill the boss in one phase. So that makes this encounter a lot more manageable to do. And I've just got, it's going to give me more sword and sniper ammo. And then here's the last really important mod. It's a seasonal one from the artifact. I'll show you how to get that in a second. I can receive less damage from combatants that are close to you while I'm wielding a sword, so this will help me stay alive longer for the boss fight. Here's the artifact. Every season you'll get like a different item, relic thing like this that's kind of tied to the story. This season's all about the Cabal, so you got like a Cabal relic. And then there will be different mods that you can purchase. You can't get all of them, but you'll be able to select up to 12 of them. I usually go for all the mods that let me to use different weapons with the champion mods, but then in the last slot, there's usually really fun ones like Passive Guard, Sundering Glare. Focusing Lens is great if you're on a light subclass and doing co-op activities with people using Stasis. So now I'm going to throw down a Rally Banner. 3D to Destiny, throwing down this banner, and then clicking E gives me my full super energy, which is that yellow bar in the bottom left, and then full ammo in all my weapons. So I'm going to let it rip. That little glowing white orb that I jumped through is Toland. It's actually a guardian from the story that tried to like learn Hive magic and ended up dying for it. He actually went on, like in the story, he went on a raid, and it was the first like raid ever for Guardians, and they actually failed partly because he betrayed his team. Oh, almost got snuck up on there. Maybe I should focus a little bit more on the encounter. And there's the stun that I was talking about in Secession. That's super helpful for taking out the Knights. I need to be mindful of my health while I'm carrying these modes. That's how I ended up dying last night. Just trying to be a little bit too ambitious and just kind of rushing things. I always want to prioritize these ads because even though they're by themselves the weakest enemy in the encounter, in numbers they're actually the most lethal because they can multiply. Even just one of them can turn into a whole army again really quickly. That's where Risk Runner comes in handy because of the AoE. Even if I'm shooting at like a knight or something, I can still take out a lot of the scions if I have the Arc Conductor damage bonus. There's one knight left, and I'm not sure what... I guess I'm going to go dark. Alright, I'm going to be careful. I guess I also have to, if I want to use Lucent Blade, I definitely have to prioritize being charged with light when I start the actual DPS. I don't need to worry about that dark mode because now I've got both of the darks done. I can just focus entirely on lights. Should definitely clean up some of these scions though. You remember I'm not using Devour right now, so... Alright, I don't want to pick those up right away, but I might have to. So I'm going to grab a charge of light, I'm going to grab a grenade, I'm going to throw that down, I'm going to use my sword right away. I don't want to rush things, so try and make sure I always keep a pillar between myself and the boss at all times. Nice. Alright, definitely helps to be more mindful of the fact that when I have the modes, I can't kill anything back. It was definitely the biggest lesson learned from last night. So now I'm just back to working on the scions and hopefully shooting some of the scions does some damage to the knight. I'm looking pretty good as far as sword ammo, but I definitely could be doing better on charge of light. Grabbing remotes. I've got one charge with light. Right, every time I see that bottom left guard attack go up, I've got to hit him with the clap. Even though he's immune right now because he's in the well, I can still attack him. Sweet. Let out a little bit of a sigh of relief there. It's the first boss down. Ooh, I didn't actually want to drop down. Quite yet, so that's a little unfortunate. I had taken charge on this one. This one's protective light. Power for speed. This is going to make it so when I spawn more mine cells, I do more damage to enemies there. That'll help me clean up the ads faster with my SMG. This gives me, you already know about protective light, which is moved it over to another armor piece. Huh. I don't know what I was running. Oh yeah. This one. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to put warm mines so I take reduced damage from enemies that are near the warm mine cells. And you see them glowing orange, that means that they've got the damage reduction active. I dropped that to a grenade mod, and then switch this to grenade launcher. Protective light, because I've got the warm mine. Alright, I'm ready to roll. So this is the wasteland area. It's kind of like, I don't know if I'd call it a full-on encounter. I've got to move around the area. There's a bunch of invisible guys with like basically grenade launchers that can really easily kill me. So I need to move around here and look for different areas that have taken blights. Those will be like black spheres. There's one of the invisible guys, so I want to get away from him as quickly as possible. It looks like over here is the first one anyways. So when I do that, oh, I missed the snipe. I'm a little nervous. Now that I took out that sniper, I think I can take his hill. Oh, or there'll be... So these are Thrall. These guys don't multiply, but they're still a pain in the ass to deal with. There's a warm mine cell that I just shot, which definitely helps a lot. I want to keep a pillar between me and the sniper, because I don't want to get into a sniper battle right now while I'm having things in close range, like that Thrall that could just sneak up on me, like that Thrall that just snuck up on me. Or those tracking rockets. There's a lot of different things. Now I feel comfortable. Man, where did those all keep coming from? I was hoping to get some anarchy, which would be like a heavy brick. Alright, I need to destroy each of these plates. Alright, which way? It's probably a Minotaur shooting at me. When they're really far away, usually they run camouflage, and then when you get in close, they camo, little assholes. That guy's actually getting dangerously close, so I don't want any part of that. Kind of cute. Alright, looks like he went like the other direction entirely, so I've always wondered if the direction that they move actually, or that he moves Toland, indicates where he's going. So I'm going to try. Follow it and see if that does. There's a heavy. Definitely standing in the rift was a good takeaway from last night as well. That the rift can overpower a lot of the damage from enemies here. And then I can go do the Devour, which is a little bit more of a risky play. But I definitely need ammo back. This captain's... Right? Nice. Gave heavy at least for all the trouble. Kinda was locked in a bit of a duel with him there. Alright, one more, and then the cube encounter. find the last one, but without getting ambushed and my sparrow exploded. We're going out of bounds. I've actually wiped in the wastelands more than once from just like speeding around too fast, hitting a ramp, catching too much air, and then going out of bounds. Uh-oh. Nice. Once you're out, I actually have to kill this. So we should look for snipers first. It's nice to know that I can just body shot those guys and I don't have to go for the headshot. So it's cool when I get the bonus headshot. It makes me feel a little bit better about myself, but it's not necessary. Got the surrounded bonus there. Hopefully I can make a war mine cell. I do make a war mine cell. I'm going to shoot the war mine cell. Survived it because of the shield, but still take them out. Luckily the thralls don't multiply, so once they're down, they're down. I think that's all the enemies, so I'll just anarchy that one. So a lot of these zones, all these zones here in the wasteland, are little homages to the different planets that get taken away by the darkness right before or at the end of the Shadowkeep DLC. This one's Mercury. Tell from all the pyramids and like Osiris books. This is like straight out of Brother Vance's clubhouse. So I think that was the last one. Gotta be careful I don't go out of bounds. And I am riding to Cuban counter. I'm going to keep Devourer and the Nova Bomb on, but I'm going to switch up. Instead of Anarchy, I'm going to run Xenophage. And Xenophage is going to let me deal with the snipers. They're probably the priority targets because they deal so much damage. The Knights really do an insane amount of damage too, but I'm running double stacks of Concussive Dampener. Someone who was running Grandmaster Nightfalls told me that 2 stacks of Concussive Dampener has a dramatically bigger effect than just running 1 stack. So for PvE, I like to do that. On PvP, I usually switch one of them to like an arc resistance mod, so I can run Powerful Friends for the plus 20 mobility. But for PvE, that's not as important. So I'll switch to Anarchy, or no, Xenophage. I'm going to put on Machine Gun Finder because getting Xenophage ammo is like make or break for the Cuban counter. And then I'm going to put on Machine Gun Scavenger so that when I do get the ammo, I pick up more of it. I've considered running double Scavenger because Xenophage ammo is more important than the sniper even. And then I think we need to use the bathroom real quick just to put some of the nerves out. I got so close last night, and then I panicked a little bit just from trying to push through and rush it a little bit. So I really want to take my time this time and do it right. I did some Googling about this encounter and what exactly to do if Toland is up at the top of the ceiling. Hopefully that doesn't end up happening. But it basically just said to clear any of the sides where you don't see like a shape on the face of it, and the goal is to get all of these faces on the cube, give them a shape on it that gets like projected after you offer motes to whichever side Toland is on. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, ready to roll. I'm going to put down the rally banner. Rally to the flag. Looks like Toland's on light. So I'm going to keep shooting things, clear all the ads, make sure I take care of Devour. I want to look for snipers. Probably shouldn't have used Devour there, but I think it'll be worth it. Alright. Alright, where is he? Oh, up in the ceiling, so I'm going to try this one in the dark. Now I'm going to try and deal with Alright, I just want to make sure that I'm full ammo, full charge with light, full abilities. Going to the next one. I don't think it's going to say responds to my actions, but it's okay. So I need light. That was a clutch. Ooh, this is where surrounding is really coming in handy. And the machine gun finder. Okay, we've got full abilities, charged with light. Could get full Xeno. Okay. Alright, I like to see that. It won't respond to my actions. Alright, looks like Toland is dark. So alright. Always want to keep Devour up, make sure I stay in the Rift. That was a learning lesson from last night as well. And I really underestimated the Rift, but it can actually help keep me alive in a lot of situations. I don't want to overestimate it either. I need to make sure I always have the Devour at the same time. But I'm not even going to go into this next room without. So if the theory's right, I should have like 2 more rounds to go. Alright, gotta make sure I just keep killing. Ooh, I needed those charges with light. Okay, so I'm gonna do the one that's not taken, so I'll do light. Alright, not gonna underestimate the acolytes. I definitely need more ammo. Alright. So I'll reload everything. I could do for even more. Alright, that helps. Gotta get back in that rift. Gotta be more mindful of not straying out of it, using the warm mind cells. It looks like dark. That got really bad. Ooh. Alright. Want to get more heavy ammo if I can. I think the next round is going to be the bosses. Sometimes when I switch to a sniper, I feel like I get a little bit luckier with getting special ammo, but the time it didn't play out that way. I don't think I got any ammo and just used a bunch of the special. I do have Nova going for the bosses, which is nice, but get that. I wonder if I'll even have to do another. I hope not. Oh, gotta be mindful. There we go. I feel like that's enough. Alright, let's see if I end up back in this room. Nope. I think one more, but I'm fine with that. Alright, this is the one. I need darkness. I'm gonna use the grenade just to get. Oh wow. That's light. I'm gonna look for the snipers. There we go, I got the Warmind cell giving me the damage bonus, the damage reduction. And I got my surrounded active. That's when this thing's really just pumping out. I'm good on sniper ammo, but I'd like another heavy brick, so I'm gonna wait for another round of ads. Oh, okay. I still might even wait for one more. Especially since it's spawning in right now. I'm gonna lower it. Could wait for one more heavy brick, but I think it'll be fine. I need to be mindful that these guys aren't pushovers though. Okay. It's important to, if you're doing this, to take down the two bosses at roughly the same time, because once one dies, a bunch of ads will spawn in. They're not super deadly, but definitely makes it easier to minimize any potential risks. All right. Now, a lot of people, not a lot of people, the developers, when they were doing the commentary for the dungeon, they said they designed the next part to be really relaxing, but honestly it makes me, at least in past runs, pretty nervous to do. It definitely builds up a lot of tension, but maybe that's the real reason they added it. But I guess it wasn't designed entirely to be a solo content. It was intended for a fire team of 3 players to do it. So with 3 players, it's definitely relaxing, and you can revive each other, so you don't have to be careful, and you can just fly down in your Sparrow, and if someone dies, it's hilarious. I love this part. This is so cool, and pretty much why I'm doing this in the first place is the emblem you get from beating the solo flawless of this dungeon is like inspired by this walkway. Oh, I've never noticed that little like rectangle in there. It's interesting. So now gotta make it down the Rainbow Road. Normally when you're doing this in a fire team, you can just pull out your Sparrow and race down, but since I'm doing this by myself and I'm trying to do this flawlessly, I'm going to be extra careful and just run all the way down. It takes like 10 minutes or so, I think. Some snipers up ahead, luckily they can just be body shotted. Man, I love the sniper this session. Even as I'm just running around, it automatically reloads, and it can reload up to double the capacity. So it's a really powerful sniper that can hold 8 bullets in the mag, which is a lot of DPS because you can unleash all of those in one damage encounter. I guess I'm a little too far away. Really quickly. And even as it can even end up being more than 8 shots because as you're shooting, it's still reloading. So you're getting an extra 1, maybe 2 shots if you pace it out, or even if you just burst it. So fantastic weapon, and you can get it from the Deepstone Crypt raid. If you've never done a raid before, I highly recommend starting with that one. There's a lot of encounters where you can just be on ad clear and kind of just hang in the back, watch how other people in the team are doing it. There's a lot of encounters that just can be completed, solo or even just 2-man. So it's definitely a great raid to start and learn with. Some of the other ones, like Garden of Salvation, can be a little bit trickier to start with because almost everyone needs to be tethering, and you don't want to get in the way of the other people who are tethering, even if you don't know how to do it. And sometimes even the tethering itself, even if you do it right, can be really glitchy, which can be a negative experience. Also, and arguably most importantly, there's not really any great loot in Garden of Salvation. There's the Sacred Providence, which you can get with Rapid Hit and Kill Clip, which was the one gun that I was doing it forever even to just get. It was the one run that eluded me. I think it took me almost 70 clears to finally get the Rapid Hit Kill Clip roll, and then like a week or 2 later, Bungie nerfed Rapid Hit. So it's still a good perk, but even still, like, the gun doesn't feel great. Like, there's certain guns that might not be the best, but have a great look and sound to them that make them worth using, in my opinion. Like right now, Shadow Price, it's a 450 RPM auto rifle, which means it's a precision frame, which also means that it kind of sucks right now, just because of the way the sandbox is and how the numbers work. Its body shot and even headshot time to kill is just really slow, especially compared to, I think it's 650 RPMs, the adaptive frames, like Gnawing Hunger and the Summoner. Those are just super, super lethal right now because they're such a great balance between rate of fire and still dealing heavy damage. The precision auto rifle frames, as you might guess, are very reliant on doing precision damage, but even then, they're still not doing a lot, and it's kind of hard to, at least in my opinion, maybe I just have Walmart aim, but it's a little hard sometimes to consistently land headshots with the auto rifle unless you're going like tap, tap, tap instead of just really letting it go full auto. Like, I like to I guess I do have one more name, but I like to just let it just fucking rip with the auto rifles and spray, especially non-hunger. I was really worried about when non-hunger was going to get sunset, and luckily it didn't. I really wish Bungie, though, would sell the ornament for non-hunger. I think it's called Still Hungry. It's a legendary ornament, and Bungie said they wouldn't sell legendary ornaments in the store anymore when they were doing sunsetting, because they thought it was unfair to sell something that could then become obsolete. But now that sunsetting is sunset and not really a thing in the game anymore, I would love it if they could add it even just for Bright Dust. I mean, especially for Bright Dust. I would massively prefer it for Bright Dust over Silver, because I've got like, I guess I can take a look. I've got 17,000 Bright Dust, so I could afford to buy an ornament or two. I think I just bought 3 ornaments today. I bought the season, Tess Eververse ornament helm for the season for Titans. I got an ornament for Divinity and something else that I can't remember. Maybe that was it and I just had something left over from another day. I'm not going to go for the secret chest just because there's like a jump there that I could potentially mess up, and I don't want to risk that, so I'm just going to be extra careful and just chug forward. Alright. Glad that worked. I got a little scared though, not going to lie, when he pulled up the shield that he was going to push me off the edge or something. And in my head, I was like, oh, I'll just use my sword to get back if he does that. But now I see I have Xenophage equipped, and so I didn't even have a sword, so that was really dangerous if that was my backup plan. Alright. Now the final boss. I'm going to have to do 4 DPS phases, and I'm going to have to be extra careful. Anarchy's key, I need to remember to really utilize it, but not quite let it rip as much as I did last night at the very end. I think that was a mistake that I made, to use it so much that I had to reload when a big threat like the ogres came out. So I'm going to be trying more mindful of that this run. Grenade. I kind of have to go to the bathroom, but I can't tell if it's just from nervous or not, because I haven't even blinked that much since the last time I went. But maybe I should, just because the time before I really rushed myself, so I don't want to make that mistake again. I have to remember too that just because it has these there, that doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's going to be when it starts, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. This is the toughest part, but as long as I'm mindful of all of the dangers, I know I can beat this. I've beaten this before solo, so I know I can do this flawlessly. Because when you beat it solo, you have to do it without dying, so. Alright, I need to remember that Rift is my priority, staying in it is really, really helpful, and then I can use Devour from there. And then I can stand in the Rift and keep my Devour chain. I can use my Anarchy to take out priority targets, but I need to be mindful that I don't get too low where I need to reload before I can finish off set targets. And I need to make sure I deal with any and all adds, or as much as possible, before I pick up moats and become unable to attack them. No! Oh man. Wow, he meleeed me. Alright. That's the end of the run. Thanks everyone for watching.